I'm going to be honest here. If you have a small business and you want to keep your business small, this video isn't going to be for you. This video is for you if you truly want to grow a big business, if you want to go to 7, 8 figures and beyond. And if you want to do so, you need to use these 10 tactical methods that we use within our businesses, within our client businesses, to be able to grow them. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Usman Kiani. I'm the founder of Guided Growth. We've achieved over 30 million in new sales revenue for our clients within the last year. And I'm going to give you all the tactics that we've developed for free within this video. I've spent well over $100,000, pounds, in just finding the right information. And I'm going to compress it into one video for you on the metrics that you need to measure to see client success. So let's get into the video. Right, let's get straight to it. The first thing that you need to be measuring is your NPS score. So let's put it. So it's the Net Promoter Score. How do we measure NPS within your business? Well, normally when you send it out to your customers, you're going to be measuring it on a scale of 1 to 10. Now, if I break down the NPS score with you, the NPS score is made up of detractors, so people towards the bottom part of the scoring system, and people at the top part, the promoters. Who do you send your NPS score to? Well, you send your NPS survey to all of your clients. Now, I hear it time and time again where clients have come in and started with us and we ask them, what's your Net Promoter Score? Do you do a customer service feedback? Have you sent anything to your clients? They'll say, no, our customers love us. Most business owners always think their customers love them. And when you look at the data and you think, are customers renewing? No. Are customers buying your backend offer? No. Are customers staying with you on your offer back to back, buying again and again? No. And you think that your product is still incredible. It's a common misconception because we can't look at ourselves and think we're doing a bad job. We don't ever think like that. We don't commonly think we're doing enough. We always believe that we're going above and beyond because when especially in the early stages, when you're the one fulfilling the clients, you feel the effort that you're putting in and you think, I'm doing enough, I'm going above and beyond for them. The actual hours that I've put in, the text that you've done for them, the additional Slack messages, the additional calls that they wasn't even offered, but you did it for them. So you feel as though you've done more than enough for them. A lot of the times when we do an NPS score with a business owner and we send it out to their clients, it can come out lower than they thought. And it's great feedback. It's actually crushing feedback as a business owner when you find that people are actually not as happy as you thought they were. It does hurt your ego. But the number one thing that you have to remember is these are all metrics to be able to improve. Your NPS score, how you would actually work it out would be, so you send out an email to your customers and ask, how likely are you to recommend us out of 10? If they was to select somewhere within this region, they're going to be detractors. People who aren't really going to be promoting you, they're not the happiest, and there's a reason for that. And if they're voting 8, 9, or 10, then they're your promoters. You also have your neutral guys right in the middle who are just not really happy or sad. A lot of the times, if they don't have something to rave about, I often think that's negative. And a quick equation that you can work out, like an example, is if 50% of people voted as a promoter, so within this area here, and they're between the 9 and 10 region, and then 10% put themselves as a detractor, so they voted around this area, and then the other 40% of people, excuse me, I don't really write with my left hand, put themselves right in the neutral position, your NPS score here would then equal 40. And it would equal 40 because it's the 10% of detractors minus the 50% of promoters. And that's how you would work out your NPS score. Your NPS score truly allows you to work out, would your customers actually promote you? And if they would promote you, you know that you can later get referrals, and this is something that we'll cover later in the video, but you want to be able to get referrals in your business, and you're only going to be able to get referrals in your business. Remember, referrals in your business have no acquisition cost. You're able to get them for absolutely free. Some of our clients have acquisition cost of $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 in pounds, and you can avoid that entire cost simply by a referral. And you're able to make more sales within your business just by working on your NPS. And how would you get to 50 over the next quarter? Well, you would call all of your detractors and ask them. So you put down that you were between like 5 or 6 that you were promoting us, and we want to know what else could we do to really support you. We really want to be better. You genuinely come across on that call as if you want to improve. And if you invite them and you'll say to that customer, I truly want you to be honest so we can improve and we can be better, not only for you, but for the next customer. You're going to find a trend. Now, if you have, let's say, 10 customers or 100 customers and you're calling a section of them, there's going to be a trend. A lot of the times there's a trend. It might be your fulfillment, it might be in the onboarding, it might be the way you're doing a certain part of the service, a certain part of your delivery for them. As soon as you find out what is missing, then you can plug that in, and then for the next batch of customers, you're going to find that they ascend up, that they promote, that they then promote you to others, that they then buy your back-end offers. And that only happens if you do the NPS score. And I see a positive correlation between businesses that do the NPS score, that are continuously improving, compared to businesses that don't even measure it at all, because they don't tend to improve and they keep that same lack of fulfillment year on year, and they never seem to improve and never seem to grow. And that's the main thing that you need to be able to measure, NPS score. So just to round it up, so your NPS score is to be asked to your customers to how likely they are to recommend you to others. And out of the 10, you have your detractors, you have your promoters, and then you have people who are just passives in the middle. And you'll send out the scores, you'll do the equation where you measure out the promoters minus the detractors to give you your NPS score. Your NPS score will clearly identify what is missing, what your current stats are, and then allow you to improve. Tactical metric number 2 to make you 7 and 8 figures. Right, let's go into it. This one is called time to value. Right, so I'm going to give you a bit of a story with this one. So time to value. Now, I used to be an online coach. I used to be a personal trainer for many years in my early 20s. So this is when I used to work at gyms on the side. I used to have so many side hustles. Honestly, there's no reason to have that many side hustles. The amount I used to, selling protein tubs, selling online coaching plans. But I realized every time I would have an online client and I would get them, let's say, to weigh in, they're 200 pounds, 90 kilos on day one. That's their weigh in on this, their check-in. If I drop their calories by 500 and on the first check-in, they've dropped 1.5 kilos or 2 kilos, they're immediately way more bought into the program. I know you science haters are going to say it should only be 200-300 calories so it's sustainable. Yes, that's right. But for someone who's been overweight for a long time, sustainable results don't really inspire them to keep going in the program. The first thing that I could really do was get them to buy into the program within the first week by giving them a really quick result. So by dropping their calories by 500, they would instantly lose 2 kilos. And now when they're checking at 88 kilos, you know what they would message me in the first 7 days? This is incredible. I knew I've made the right decision. I'm going to refer my friends. They would say all this crazy good stuff to me straight after the first check-in, simply because strategically I dropped their calories sooner. Now, in business, what do we do? Within our business now, for our sales, within the first 7 to 10 days of our client onboarding, we try to get them a quick win. We'll look at their business, we look at their metrics, we look at their sales, and we look at their sales manager, their salespeople, wherever their team is at, whether it's 1 salesperson or 25 salespeople. What we will do is we will identify what quick win does this business have. We have a few quick wins that we use with different businesses, depending on their size, if they're under 3 million, over 3 million, and we'll give that plugin straight away to the founder or the sales manager. As soon as we give that, within the first 7 days, customers will instantly tell us, wow, we're so happy that we invested. This was so good. And that's when we'll ask for a referral. We will sometimes ask for a testimonial after 5 or 6 weeks, not right at the end. We might do a success interview at the end, but we'll get the time to value done very early. So the time to value, it's how fast that you can get them a result. So I call it the speed to result. Now, you're not going to get them to their complete result straight away, but you're going to be able to get them a quick win. And when someone's invested between $3, $5, $10, $15,000 and pounds with you, and you get them a quick win within the first 7 to 10 days, they're going to be even more inclined and even more bought in on the program. The same way those weight loss clients were years ago for me. So time to value is an incredibly important metric. And if you get your time to value right, your ascension, your back-end offer will be even greater. You'll be able to get even more buy-in on a bigger package later. For example, if you're selling a 10K package now, and it's your 90-day plan for your 10K package, and you get them a win that gives them a few thousand, a few £100, gets their first funnel live, gets their first ad live, whatever it is, within the first 7 to 10 days, Even up to 21 days, we would consider a good time to value. And then we would simply have an offer waiting for them after they got that result. And we would say, we can do this with you for the next 6 months, double the price, 20K, for double the time. And what you've done now is you've got that customer who's worth 10K to now be worth 30K, because you've sold them something even bigger on the back end, simply because you were strategic with your time to value. Now, some really good tips with time to value. We actually measure with our businesses how fast you get the time to value. So we count the amount of days. So we'll have a metric that we say, what result do we want the client to get? Let's say it's an ad agency, and the time to value is we want to get their first ad live within the first 21, 22, 23 days. Now, with a lot of ad agencies, they have to get their avatar right, get their niche, get their script. They have to do so many things. If we can compress and use all the right tools and tactics and AI and the staff and the operations so streamlined that the customer gets their ad live within the first 21 days, they're gonna get a result even quicker. And now compare that to a lot of other ad agencies that will spend 6 to 8 weeks eventually when the customer eventually gets around to replying back, making the creatives, making the script, and eventually gets the ad live. Then it's like, it's already been 2 months and I've not made any money. I'm less inclined to even spend money on my ads. I'm less inclined to believe in your product, even though you did nothing wrong, even though the customer might have been the slow one. But it's your job as a business to get them the result as quickly as possible. So this involves 2 parts. You have that metric, you have that initial number of how many days, but you also have an entire system built behind your time to value, how fast you can get them in. Another example that we use for some of our businesses is we have a coach who has a personal training business who helps other personal trainers build their business, which is something that I did years ago. Now, what we get him to do is we get him to launch out an offer. We onboard the clients, and then we get them to launch out an offer to their audience within the first 7 days. And this is just an offer to make a Facebook post, an Instagram post, or something in their story where they would say, I'm looking for a client for XYZ weeks to give this result, and you'll get a discount if you work with me for a testimonial. And we'll write out this specific post for their clients within the first 7 days, and they'll get some clients in. They'll get a couple of clients in. And by them doing that, they believe in their system even more. Because as a personal trainer, they just bought into this business mentorship, and now they've got a win within the first 7 to 21 days, and they're instantly even more bought in, instantly even more likely to refer. That's time to value. Metric number 3, which is actually linked to time to value, is how fast that you actually get your testimonials. So what I like to call it is you are actually getting your testimonials. Oh, I butchered that, but it says testimonials. Now, with your testimonials, we want every client to give you a testimonial. Credibility is one of the most important things online. Within this video, you're only watching this video because in the intro, I spoke about all the things that we did for our clients. And now we have a plethora of the amount of testimonials that we've got from our clients that are giving us positive reviews. Without that data being there, without that proof being there, a lot of the times business owners will not actually invest in you, because the internet, it's like such a spicy place. There's so much bullshit around. It's usually the people that have the most amount of credibility that will get the win. Like a great example is Alex Hormozi. 2 or 3 years ago, he had hardly any audience, but he went on stage and said, I've just made 100 million in sales. By him saying that, his credibility was extremely high. So his audience just built so much quicker because he started with so much more credibility. So the more credibility that you have will allow you to grow an even bigger business. And one great way to get credibility is with your testimonials. So what I do with testimonials, I use a few different tactics. So what I would do is I know when to ask, okay? And I know what to ask. And then the second one is success interviews that I would class as a separate type of testimonial, but it still goes in as a testimonial credible piece. Now I'll cover these 3 things with you. So when do you ask for a testimonial? Well, the best time to ask for a testimonial is when your client feels as though they've just got a result with you. If you think about the psychology of any human, we have our core chemicals in our brain: dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. The quicker you can get someone to feel these chemicals, and the quicker you can get someone to feel these emotions, the better and the more belief that they're gonna have. Now, if I get my client a win, get them a dopamine hit within the first 7, 10, 30 days, what's going to happen? They're going to message your Slack channel, they're going to message your WhatsApp and say, I absolutely love this, I'm so happy, thank you, I really appreciate this. Their dopamine is at their highest. That's when I'll ask for the testimonial. So I will ask for the testimonial when the dopamine is at the highest for the client. And by asking at that stage, the belief, the voice, the way they will even speak in that testimonial will be completely different. I'm gonna give you an example. If you ask one of your clients to give you a testimonial, now if you're a business owner, you've done that before, you've messaged someone and they've taken a day, they've taken 7 days, they've taken 2 months, they said they will get it to you, but they never did. And then you blame them, you look at them and think, where's that testimonial? Why have they not sent it yet? You know what the truth is? You didn't ask at the right time. By you simply asking at the right time, you would have got that testimonial and it would have sounded completely different. I actually have a lesson where I did a call for a friend. I didn't charge her, this is around 3 years ago. And she was struggling with the business. And I said, I'll help you, I'll do an hour call and I'll go over everything for your business. Can you do me a testimonial after? She said, great. I did that 1 hour call with her. During that call, she was busy, she got distracted, and I said, no worries, we'll sort the testimonial later, don't worry about it. 2 months later, I asked her for a testimonial. And do you know what she did? Like a complete drip, looked at the camera and went, yeah, worked with us, man. It was really good. We had a call a while back and we got some good wins. She was trying to remember all the things that we went over because I didn't really clarify the journey. So when she messaged back, I actually knew her well enough to change that into a success interview. And I'll go over how to do the success interview and how I actually changed it later in just a few points. But when to ask is when the client actually gets a win and feels their best from your service. What to ask? There's a few different methods here. There's an entire journey. There's one from Russell Brunson, which is called the Epiphany Bridge. There's a few different methods that you can use. But the one that I love is where you can simply ask, so why did you decide to work with me? What was holding you back? Would you recommend it to others? And what's the biggest win that you've seen? By asking those structured questions within the testimonial, for the listener, it's going to sound like it's going to completely convince them because they're going to hear someone say, I was struggling with this thing. The listener's going to think, yes, I'm struggling with that too. They're going to say, this is what was stopping me. The listener, yes, that's what was stopping me. And this is what I got. That's what I want to achieve. And by the viewer listening to it in a way which is going to break it into them, that this is the right thing for them, going over their pain point, going over their apprehensions, going over what their goal is within one testimonial, because you structure the questions within that specific way, you're going to get way more killer testimonials. And now for the last one, for the last section of testimonials, we've got success interviews. Success interviews is simply a conversation between you and your client talking about their success. But it's over a Zoom call, you can see both of you, or you can do it in person if they can come down and see you, and you'll simply be able to ask them those questions. So what's the main thing that you did, that our program did for you to get you successful? How did our program work for you? And you'll structure the questions. It's similar to the testimonial questions, but you're able to go even deeper. You can make this between 10 to 15 minutes. I have seen some people that make it around a 30-minute and also build a lot of rapport in there. But I like these when they're like 10 minutes because then they can get posted on YouTube, they can get posted within your landing pages at the bottom. And these are incredible videos to be able to go over like the actual success that your client has seen and you actually talking and them having a real conversation with you. It seems way more authentic because you can hardly ever fake that. It's hard to fake that. A written testimonial, it can be faked, but the absolute best is probably them going on stage and speaking, saying, this is what this person did for me, this is how much I love it. That's the absolute best, but what could be closer to that? Well, it's a success interview where you're both sat on a Zoom call or in person, and the other person is just raving all about how successful they are because they worked with your program or your business. The fourth metric that you need to be measuring is review count. Most people never actually measure their review count. So I'm going to explain why it's so important to actually measure the review count. Now, the review count is the amount of people that have left a positive review for your business. It could be on Trustpilot, it could be on Google. This could be for a myriad of different businesses. But I'm going to refer to it specifically for the online info space. Now, the review count, I look at it as a ratio between the total clients you had to the total people that have left reviews. So what I would do here would be total clients Oh my gosh, as you know, the handwriting is not the best. Total reviews. Okay, now what I will do is I want to hit 85% of people who have been total clients compared to the people that have left total reviews. And 85% is my metric that I've set for our business owners. The reason why we set 85% is if we take on 100 clients over the next, let's say 2-3 months or however many you're on board, and 30 of them have left you reviews, you're either not got the process or you're not giving a good service. It's one or the other. And I simply know something is missing. By being able to see the total review count from total clients, it has to be 85%. I'm gonna give you an example. When I had a business offer where I was selling to personal trainers, helping them with their online business. Now, from a lot of 2022, a bit of 2023, this was what I was working on, the main chunk of my time. For a lot of 2023, actually, the main thing was like online businesses, and towards the back end of 2023, I started working with a lot more bigger businesses that were within that space. But in the early stage, especially at the end of 2022, early 2023, I was helping a lot of beginner personal trainers take their business online. And these were just leaving the gym floor. Because I came from that gym background, I knew that personal trainer model. I knew I could help them with the online, and I could bridge that gap for them. And I was helping them with their business. And I would always ask for a referral probably 3-4 months later after they finished, just because I wasn't collecting referrals. I was building my business online on Instagram. I didn't have a big following, but I was getting a lot of leads through just from outbound DMs. Just the basic tactics really worked for me. It was just not even running ads. And I got caught up in just getting more clients all the time. All I was thinking about was getting more clients, and I would never think about the reviews. I don't know what it was. Every time I would finish with a client, not many were sending up because they were beginner personal trainers, and the deal was, I'm gonna get you to 5K. I didn't even have a backend at the time. Towards the later part of 2023, I did have a backend, and then we had around 58% of them actually ascend up to the backend. But total clients, we had when I counted up, it was like 35 or 40% of people actually got up there and actually gave us a review, simply because we weren't asking. All we did was just ask. By August 2023, in the last part of the year, we just asked, can you give us a review? And do you know what happened? 90% of people gave a review within the first day. And then at some point, 100% of people would give the review. Some people were a bit slower, some people took a bit longer. But that testimonial, that review, that written review, you can do it on Trustpilot, you can do it on Google Reviews. However you're going to do it, you simply just need to ask for it for the first thing, and then be able to just have that link ready and to have that in the instruction. And sometimes it's worth actually tying that into a reward. And how I'd actually tie it into a reward would be early on when they sign up with me, and let's say they've negotiated some sort of discount, 5% off to start. I will say, I'm happy to do that if you can do me a positive review within the next few weeks or within the next few days. And they'll say, yeah, if I'm happy with everything, if everything's going well, I'll do that. A lot of the times we'll shake the deal, and they then are expecting me to send them something for a positive review. I love putting that out very early on. And also a side note for sales, I only ever give a discount when I get something in return. So if I'm selling something for 5K and a client asks, can you do it for 4,500? Commonly, I will always say, well, I could do it for more. But the second thing, if it's truly coming down to negotiating, I will actually say, I'll do it for 4,500 if you can do this for me. Psychologically, by doing that, you've not devalued what you're doing. Because if you just give a discount without asking for something back in return, you're going to find that they devalue because now you've got a discount. And also, when they tell somebody else that they got a discount from you and someone that refer wants that same price, you're able to say, well, they did something for me. That's why they got that price. So you have to be able to say why they got that discount, and it gives you a reason for that, and also doesn't devalue you. So it's always good to do it that way. That is review count. So that is your fourth metric for review count, and now we're on to your fifth. The fifth is most people's favorite, which I mentioned early on in the video, which is referrals. Now, with referrals, you need to be aiming for at least 10% of your clients to refer. That is an awful circle. 10% of your clients should be getting referred into your business every month from your total client base. So if you have 100 clients, you should be getting 10 referrals every month. Referrals are the bread and butter for growth. Now, we work with so many business owners and their acquisition is heavily driven on ads, IG, YouTube, partnerships. Now, if that's where you're getting a lot of your leads from, what happens if that channel gets shut down, if there's an issue, if the algorithm changes, if your content doesn't strike well anymore, if your ads don't convert, there's an issue, your ad account goes down, something happens and you've not got this backup. Referrals gives you the absolute baseline of there's still acquisition happening without us spending money in marketing. Referrals allows you to know that there's still acquisition happening within your business without you spending thousands on marketing. By you aiming for 10%, a lot of the times your business will have, let's say, 5% of people leave. Let's say you have a churn rate of 5%. And now, if you've heard the term around negative churn, which is if all of your social media, if all of your content, if all of it stopped working and you only had your current clients to focus on, and you had 5% churn rate every single month, your business would decline and it would stop growing. It would cease to exist within the next 3, 6, 12 months. By having a good referral system within your business, if you had 20 clients and you had 2 new referrals every month, and then one was churning out every single month, your business still grows because there's a point where you get to 30 and then you're getting 3 referrals compared to 1, 1.5, or 2 people leaving that month. But this system allows you to continue to grow your business without any acquisition channels, simply by having referrals. Also, referrals are so heavily linked to your NPS score and how you're actually doing within the business. Now in point 1, I spoke heavily on the NPS. NPS is your net promoter score. We can see a clear correlation of people that put 9 and 10 on the promoter score and then refer you people, because we know those people have said to us they're likely to promote us, and we know those are the people that we should be asking for referrals. And the best time to ask for referrals is actually the same time where we covered earlier on with the testimonials, when they get that dopamine hit and they've got that big win. That's also a great time to ask for referrals. And this is my script on how I ask for referrals. I absolutely love working with you. It's been a pleasure, and I'm excited to continue to get you more wins in the future. If you have any friends who are just like you, who also want to get these types of results and have that same attitude that you do, please refer them. And if you do refer them within the next month, we will give you X. So I make sure that we want more people just like them, so they feel comfortable to refer their friends. And then I'll also put a timestamp on it where I'll say, if you do it by the end of this month, I will give you this. A lot of the times, let's say your acquisition cost is $1,500, I might give out $500, $750, $1,000 for a new client, because it's still less than my current. And the studies show that if someone was to refer you one client, they're far more likely to refer you another, because it's that personality trait of just being someone who was to refer. We tend to find the people who refer are the ones who refer even more. So you got to find those people within your clients, those people who are likely to refer, treat them well, pay them well, give them a great referral fee, and look after their friends when they bring them in, and you're going to find that they're going to keep referring people to you. I have a friend who worked with a business owner. He was his first client, and this friend is known to be a great referrer. He's known to actually refer a lot of people to a business. He referred 28 people to this business owner, and that business owner was able to build now a 7-figure business off the back of those referrals very early on, because he acquired 28 high-ticket clients, 2K plus clients, within the first 2 or 3 months. Now, you're able to do that when you have a killer product and service, but also you understand how and when to ask. So that covers referrals. The next thing, which is something that I actually mentioned in the video, is upsell percentage. Upsell percentage is the amount of people that get ascended into the Backend program. Now, a great metric that we have in our current business is 50% of our current clients get ascended up into our higher ticket program, into our bigger Backend offer. Simply because when you fix one problem, you then create another problem. We fix the problem of sales, but then commonly we'll create a new problem of operations, because the business is now far bigger, they're making more money. So then they need some help with maybe their project management system or operations or leadership, and we can help that with them. So that's the metric that I'll be aiming for, 50%. Your upsell percentage is, if you was to have 100 customers, 50 of them was to ascend up to a Backend offer, your upsell percentage is 50%. Now, if you remember point number 2 where I referred to time to value, your time to value stat is linked to your upsell percentage, because if you have a great time to value, let's say the first 14 to 21 days, you're more likely to have a higher upsell. Now you tend to find how all these metrics actually correlate together, and actually when one piece is good, the other piece starts to fit. And this is why building a 7-8 figure business is not easy. You have to be able to find all these metrics and to be able to work out operationally how to actually fix all these little holes that you've got in your business to be able to get all these metrics to work together. Because when they do work together in unison, your business just works incredibly, because your time to value, which we covered in point 2, all the way to this point here, which is your upsell percentage. If someone's just got a quick win from your business, they're way more likely to just ascend up, because you've already showed them that your product and service works. You showed them that you gave us some money, you trusted us, and we did a great job with you. So now what would happen if you give us more money? And that more money is 30K. Let's say it's a 15K offer for 30 days. It might be 30K for 6 months. And you'll double the time, double the price. That's my number 1 rule with a lot of the times with upsells. If you create an upsell that's very complex, it's very hard to scale it. Most of our 7-figure businesses have that core offer already nailed, but then they don't have a process of when to actually activate that upsell call. What we actually do with our account managers and customer success managers, we'll actually have a call activation point when the customer hits a certain metric, time to value, or they make a certain amount of revenue, or they get a certain amount of close ratio. We'll trigger that call happening, and we'll say the call's all about helping them, giving them additional one-to-one support, and we'll mention what else is coming in the future. What business owners do wrong in this area is they will have a 90-day program and they'll wait until day 88, day 89, day 90 to be able to offer that upsell. And you know what will happen? The excitement's gone, the pain's gone. I don't need it as much anymore, so I'm way more likely to say no. Now, if you have an upsell percentage of even 40%, I think that's good, that's okay, because you can build a killer business. 50% is great. I've seen some businesses with 60% or even higher, because they just have a great way of actually treating their clients and getting them all the wins. You know you have a good service and a good product. You have an offer that's validated. You have a great system. When people ascend up, if they're not buying more from you, there's something stopping them. And that a lot of the times it's what you're providing them. So if you provide someone logically enough value, they're going to buy again. If you go to a restaurant and have an incredible meal, are you not going to go there again? Have you ever gone to a restaurant, absolutely loved the food that was local to you, and then thought, I'm never going to go there again? No. If you love the food, you go again. Similarly, within the high ticket space, if you love what they've offered you and they're giving you a lot of value and they're giving you a lot of win, you're going to then ascend up to the next package. So that's exactly what the metric is all about. Your upsell percentage needs to be at 50%. An upsell percentage is incredibly linked to your back-end revenue. So this, I won't really measure as a metric, back-end revenue. Now, what I'll do here with this back-end revenue will be where that's supposed to be £1. If you're American, we can put you $1. There you go, one or the other. That's funny dollar, funny pound, but my writing's never the best. I'm still not shy from actually writing it, because I actually used to hate writing on boards and pens because I used to feel judged. But now it's all about getting the knowledge out. It doesn't look the best, but you get the point. Now, your back-end revenue, you want to be as high as possible. We want to be as high as we can possibly get it. In the beginning, you just have your core offer and that upsell. You also want to be looking at, is there any other opportunities? A lot of the times, business owners will fall to this too early. Like within our business right now, we only actually have 2 packages. We have our core offer, then we have a back-end offer. We don't even have anything else. Of course, I've done consult calls, I've done anything like just helping a business owner. But the main thing I actually sell is just one product, one service with one back-end offer. Back-end revenue, you have to be able to measure. And I want back-end revenue to be as high as our front-end revenue. So how I'd write that would be front-end revenue compared to back-end revenue. I actually want it to be equal to each other. I want it to be the exact same. So if on the front-end revenue side, you're taking in 200K, I want your back-end revenue to be another 200K. The reason why is I know if you did the last metric right, 50% ascending up to double the time, double the money, you're going to equal out to these results. So if you sold out 100K, 10K to 10 people, that's 100K. Then 5 of them bought the 20K offer, which was double the time, double the price. That's 100K. Double, which is front-end revenue, back-end revenue. I want it to be equal. And that's where you're able to truly grow your business, because what will happen would be your LTV per client, it goes up so much higher. It doubles, it triples, it goes up because you have that revenue. Because if you have a 10K product and you've sold it for 10K, then the back end is 20K. You've now got 30K from that one customer, so you've tripled it when it was originally 10K. And this is why structuring every part of these metrics very intelligently within your business, when you plug them in, you will make a lot more money, and it doubles your business. Because if all you do is just sell more stuff to your current customers without acquiring any new customers, you make so much more money. We're so busy a lot of the times chasing new leads, chasing new customers. Remember, like, we work in sales. Our main skill is actually the front-end sales revenue. But recently we've put a lot of modules, a lot of training, a lot of systems in place to help business owners with that back-end upsell. That back-end upsell is such a unique way to double a business. We'll commonly onboard a business, let's say they're making £2 million, $2 million a year, and they have 2 or 3 sales reps, 2 or 3 setters, and we look at their back-end revenue, and they instantly have hardly any back-end revenue. If we just tweak 1 or 2 things, we'll get them to 3 or 4 million very easily, very quick, simply because we just added in that process for them. And so many times it could be as simple as giving your customer success managers a small commission for us sending people up. So if your customer success manager has just taken on a client that your closer just got paid for, let's say $1,000 commission, and let's say it was a 15K package. Now, if they go up to a 30K package and you can give that customer success manager 5% of that, $1,500 or £1,500, imagine how much more likely your customer success manager is to be able to get them successful. And this is why the greater you can create opportunities of earning more within your business, the more successful you will be. If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go with others. And this is why you have to pay others more and more, because the more you pay them, the more opportunity you create for them, the more your business will grow, because then you end up with a lot of A players and superstars within your business. Okay, we're on the last few. We're on number 8. So this is something that we want to actually decrease. So it's actually refunds and chargebacks. Okay, everyone hates talking about this topic because no one likes refunds. Of course no one does. You just made the money, you did all that acquisition, you spent all that effort, and now people want a refund. One big win that we found that massively reduces refunds for our business and for our clients is the handoff. And we call it the golden handoff. So what we'll do is the sales call is here. So this is a sales call. It's just been closed. The onboarding call is here. This is what happens with most businesses. There's a sales call, there's an onboarding call. This here, there could be a lot of buyer's remorse in between that. Buyer's remorse is when someone changes their mind after they pay a lot of money, they feel nervous, they don't think it was the right decision, and it happens a lot of the times. In some businesses, we've seen it happen to almost 5% of their sales. So buyer's remorse within this journey, what do we do? How do we stop it? Well, we add in a few new activation points within this golden path. So how we stop buyer's remorse, as soon as the sales call is done, we'll take a screenshot of the Zoom call. We'll say to the person on the phone, on the sales call, do you want to smile, cheese? We'll welcome you into the group, and you'll both take a picture together. So we'll take a screenshot pic. That's one thing that we'll do. And then what we'll do is we will give a roundup where we have a template, which we'll actually be adding this roundup template into our community. So if you look below in the description, you see access to our community, which is our free school group. Join, it's called Guided Growth. I host a monthly call in there, and there's a bunch of free courses in there to learn sales, tactics, meetings, and you can see that below. But within our roundup, what we would do is we would get the closer to give a roundup of that client, everything that they're going to be experiencing, why they actually joined, what's their biggest pain point, what's the main thing that they need help with, everything that was discussed in that conversation. Because a lot of the times, this could be an intimate conversation. Someone's really opened themselves up. They've spoke about how much they need help. So what we will do will be, we will take that screenshot and we'll take that roundup. We'll post a screenshot within the group chat. Let's say it's a school community, we'll post it in there. Let's say it's a Slack community, WhatsApp. We'll post it in there saying, welcome new client. This is what they're looking for. It's a great way for them to start mingling, or to say hello, get them involved in that network straight away, stopping buyer's remorse them getting to meet other people within the community very quick. The next thing is the roundup, where we'll send that roundup to the success team, to the account managers, and what they will do with that information will be they will send out a message within their channel to that person. So let's say it's a Slack channel. We'll have a Slack channel for our clients. When we get that roundup message to the customer success team from the closer, the customer success team will make that Slack channel with the client, add the client in. Instantly, as soon as the client lands in there, all the account managers, all the people from the team that are in that group that are going to be connecting with that client, we're all going to celebrate that they've just joined the group. So we're going to say, so incredible to have you here, really excited to help you with X thing that they might have mentioned on the sales call, which truly makes them feel heard. We'll say, it's so good to have you here. We'll send out a bunch of like balloons in a GIF. We'll make them truly feel welcome before the onboarding call. Now, let's say the onboarding call is like 3 days later, and this message happens straight away within that timeline. Buyer's remorse has massively been reduced because they've just got a warm welcome. They've got access to all of your resources. They've just had introduced to your community. So many things have happened so quickly. They're going to feel like, I'm in this now. This is professional. They're doing things right. If you get the onboarding done right, onboarding done wrong is just thinking about the onboarding call. Onboarding done right is where you think about all the little things before the call, how fast you can get them in. And that's massively going to reduce refunds and chargebacks. And just to go back for a second, I didn't actually explain refunds and chargebacks. You get people that recall a payment from Stripe. You get people that ask for refunds. They might even ask you, or they might ask their bank. They might even fill out an indemnity form where they go to the bank directly and say they were wrongfully sold something and get a refund. And if you don't have those screenshots and don't have that communication there, that they bought something and don't have a contract signed, you will a lot of the times get that. So make sure you have a lot of those things signed, sealed, and delivered so you can actually not get so many refunds and chargebacks. Because honestly, getting a lot of refunds is chaotic for a business. It's so much operational headache. It's truly one of the things that hurts salespeople, because when a salesperson closes a deal and they count their commission in the head, they've gone home and counted their money. They're like, I know I'm going to get that next month now. And then they get told it refunded. It hurts them, it demoralizes them, it hurts their performance. And if it happens once, okay, fine, it's happened one time. If this is happening to one or two closers regularly, you're going to find that closers, their performance dips massively. So you have to stay on top of that, not only for your business's revenue, but also for the mindset for the salespeople, because if the refunds and chargebacks are happening a lot, it will truly hurt them. And now number 9 and 10 are actually not to do with customers, but more to do with the team. So if I just go over number 9 with you first, number 9 of important metrics that you need to measure for your team are team churn. That's the C. So team churn, this is the amount of people that are coming and going through your business every single month. Now, if I put in an order, who is less likely to leave in a business? You have your C-suite that are less likely to leave. Then you have your middle managers. Then you have your frontline staff, like salespeople as well. Setters, setters, VA. These people are way more likely to leave. So in a normal business, you'd tend to have C-suite that stay there for years, sometimes 2 to 5 years. Middle managers could stay there for a year to 2 years. Salespeople, a lot of the times, you might go through 10, 15 salespeople within your business within a single year, because it's such a churn rate of staff. The more responsibility and pay, it involves more stability for that person. So they're more likely to just stay in that one role. And also it's about the culture and the environment and the leadership that you have within your business. But if your churn rate for staff is high, every single time you onboard a staff, it costs you money because there's a delay in productivity. Someone is now training them. You can automate as much training as you want, but someone is to oversee that training and go through it with them. So no matter how much you do, it will completely hurt your business if you're going through staff. We have, like in sales, you will probably go through a lot of salespeople to find your core team. Like if you're a company that you can handle around 8 salespeople, you're probably going to go through 20, 30 salespeople to find your core team of 8. And then when you have your core team of 8, you'll get your top performer, you'll get your guy who's doing okay, chasing that top performer every month. You'll have a stack of people that are just your 7 and 8s and just doing okay. Then you have your 1 or 2 people that are just there, every single month just hanging on, barely hanging on, and they drop out and a new two lesser qualified people come in and they never seem to make it. In any sales team, you tend to find there's top performers, middle of the stack, and there's a lot more of them, and then you just have people who are just, sales is not for them, they just gave it a go. And this is why you have to be able to identify your team churn rate, because you then can see the flaws within your onboarding, flaws within your business, flaws within your recruitment, flaws within your leadership style. If you don't measure team churn, you will continuously spend money in resources and your productivity will completely be impacted, because your company will be less productive because your middle managers are always training these people, or your C-suite is always training your managers. If these processes aren't put in, your team churn will be incredibly high. And the last one is one that I don't see a lot of businesses do. I actually took this from the company that I worked at, which was around 30 million revenue. And the last one, number 10, is team NPS score. So we covered NPS score as our first metric in the beginning for customers. We also do it for the team. And the reason why we measure it for the team is because we want to be able to see, are the team actually happy? Customers being happy is actually one real important metric and success measure for a business. But for the last one, you've got to be able to measure, are your team happy? Because they will be able to create an environment where customers are truly fulfilled, where other staff are fully fulfilled. If your team net promoter score, because I broke it all down in the beginning, is high, you're going to find that you can actually even create referrals for your staff, for new staff to come in, and they can watch referrals from current team members that have been there or left. And by having your team NPS score, I'm not going to write all this out because you can actually imagine it's still 1 to 10, same system as before, but the team NPS score is massively going to be able to identify the churn rate, which we call 1.9, and to be able to massively increase culture within your business. Great culture means great results, means you get better clients, and you're going to be able to attract far more better talent if your NPS score is good, because you're going to have better reviews on Glassdoor, better people being attracted into your company because your staff may refer others to work with you. So those are your 10 metrics that you need to measure to build an epic business. If you want to see more videos like this, click onto the right side. But if you want to subscribe, because I mean, look at our stats, only 1% of our viewers actually subscribe. So please subscribe to our video, comment, tell us your thoughts, tell us if this is useful to you. Join our community, link in the description. I'll catch you on the next one.